the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very special guest on the phone. Brendan, the Cannon Adams. You may know him from the epic show Contender. How's it going today, Brandon?
Everything is going good, man. I'm training hard. I'm feeling good, happy. I'm straight, man. I can't complain.
All right, well, let's start from the beginning. So, are you originally from California?
Yeah, originally from California, Los Angeles, like borderline between Watts and Compton.
Oh, okay. How was that growing up?
I mean, it had its battles, man. Growing up within the neighborhood, dude, unfortunately, man, I was subjected to gang banging at a very young age because of my older brothers and sisters. My older brothers and sisters. The community we grew up in, they kind of was like, pushing for everybody to be a part of the gang. My family kind of didn't want to be a part of it, so if you wasn't with them, you was against them. It was kind of one of those ordeals. So growing up, and plus me being short, me being small, I was always fighting. It was tough, but I mean, I thought it was normal.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm reading your bio. It said you was a victim of bullying. Bullying.
Yeah, somewhat. But like I said, man, I mean, I thought all this stuff was normal growing up. It wasn't just like it was just happening to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, I thought it was part of the hardship of growing up. It all changed once around, I want to say about like middle school. It was more so of like when I was in elementary, the bullying and stuff took place. But around middle school and high school, I wound up being real cool, and people got to know and understand where I was coming from, and we figured out, you know what I'm saying, at a young age, dude, we were all real similar to one another. So, or at least that's what I used to bring towards the light with everybody, and that's why I wind up having it kind of cool as far as my peers growing up.
Gotcha. I'm also reading that your older brother got shot.
Yeah, my older brother, my second oldest brother from my mom's, he got shot when we were younger. When he was around, I want to say when he was about 15. When he was 15, I think I was around.
Whoa!
7
Your
or 8.
brother got shot when he was 15.
When he was 15,
wow.
I was probably like 7 or 8. He got shot, and I remember when they called the paramedics. My mom, while she ran, because she didn't know what to do, she ran upstairs to go get some medicine. Like, she was trying to give him Advil and stuff like that because he got shot, like, in the chest, like 2 centimeters away from the heart. While she's running upstairs looking through the medicine cabinet, she told me to put a towel on his chest while he's gushing blood out of his chest. So I was a little kid holding a towel on his chest. And it didn't even, come to the realization that I was about to lose my brother or anything. I was just doing what was asked, and I hate to say it, man, but it was kind of almost like as if I was numb to the situation. For one, I was extremely young, and two, it was always a lot of shooting around the neighborhood I was growing up in.
Wow, man, damn, man. Also, wow, I'm kind of speechless right now, man. You lost one of your best friends 100 feet from where you sleep?
Yeah, I lost one of my best friends. Yeah, it all happened due to the violence within the neighborhood. We were young. I want to say I was around 15. I was 15 at this time. My friend, he got shot. And when he got shot, he was knocking on my next-door neighbor's door trying to get in the house. He was asking for them to open up the door. This was after he was already shot, but they were still shooting in the neighborhood at the time, and he died on their front porch. But, growing up just within that neighborhood, man, if it's like any neighborhood that's, low income and all that stuff, man, we're all subjected to temptation. A lot of gangs, a lot of violence. Everybody's too close. Nobody got money. Everybody's looking for a way out, whether it's the fast or the long way. People are, they ain't no telling, man. I can't even sit up there and say what be on people's mind, but I know at the time a lot of that stuff was taking place within my neighborhood because of stuff like that.
Do you feel like the reason, like you were known to it, is like a coping defense, like kind of a mechanism that we as humans we just like naturally produce or manufacture?
Yeah, no, I don't want to say it was kind of like a coping thing, but it was just more so something that I was kind of I don't want to say on a regular, because I don't want to paint that picture and say that it was just like you were just so used to seeing people die like flies, but at the same time, I mean, truthfully speaking, it was always people, because like me personally, the way that I was brought up within I stayed in a different area, but from my grandma. My grandma, she stayed within some projects, and in the projects, I was heavily known. My brothers, they used to go from project to project because they have friends and stuff. So I'll be able to do the same thing. I'll go to projects to projects. So I was kind of like I knew a lot of people. I was always around a different group of people. So me personally, at a younger age, I was always hearing that people were getting killed. And then, a lot of my older family members, great aunts and great uncles, they were dying too. So, like, that's why I say, like, for me, I was kind of like, I think I was probably, honestly, a little bit too young to recognize it, because once I got a little older and I started recognizing people was dying, it hit me, it hit hard, and it hurted. So it's just that when I was at that age, I don't think it hit me so hard. I didn't fully get a grasp of losing people close to me.
Wow. Ooh, man, it's tough right there, brother. It's tough, man. Let's kind of transition now. How did you find the sport of boxing?
Like, it all started when I was a little kid, man. The only thing that I was interested in growing up was playing football and boxing. Every summer, all the adults used to always push, like, they used to get boxing gloves out. They used to try to keep the community active, like all the youth, because there was a lot of talented kids where I grew up at. Everybody, was extreme, fast, strong, athletic, very athletic. So they used to put boxing gloves out, and I love to box. I didn't understand. Well, I think I just like to fight, because at the time I didn't really know how to box. I used to always hear about Mike Tyson, so that was always like, who was appealing to me as far as the sport of boxing. At the time, I didn't even know about Muhammad Ali. All I knew was Mike Tyson. So I used to always say to people, I want to be like Mike Tyson. And then when I used to play football, I used to always say I want to be like Barry Sanders.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Barry Sanders is a bad guy.
Yeah, so me growing up, that's all I used to always think about. Is playing football or playing boxing. Like I said, every summer they used to put boxing gloves out, and I'd never shy away. I always put the boxing gloves on and tried to box whomever, any other kid that was our age or a little older. I just wanted to, prove that I could hold my own.
Absolutely. Can you explain to the people who Big Al is and why y'all call him the Black John Wayne?
Oh man, Big Al was the guy who introduced me to a boxing gym. Big Al was the guy. So like I said, in our community, man, it was kind of hard to get around because it's sets, it's cliques, it's gangs, and me being young, a young adult, it was kind of hard for me to just get around because at the time, people within that neighborhood, people didn't know me. Some of them did know me, and they knew of which school that I went to. And the school that I went to, it was a mixing pot of all the gangs up there, and I used to hang with everybody. So going up there, it was a bit of an hassle until Big Al had brought me up there. Big Al used to drive me up there in his car every morning. It started off at 8 in the morning. He kept bringing me to the gym, and he introduced boxing to me. He introduced getting in shape, because at the time, man, I was probably only like 5'4" and like 200 or 190 pounds. I was one of those, man. I was a lot heavier.
Bro, you were 5'4". Whoa. You were 5'4", 200, bro.
Yeah, man. I thought I was
you
gonna be
definitely play running back. I'm saying you definitely was gonna be a running back.
I was definitely trying to be Maurice Jones-Drew before
I
heard him.
Little bowling ball comes to this motherfucker.
Yeah, man. So that's where I was at. And when I met this guy, everybody at the gym, because when he first met me, he was actually trying to get me to get a trainer in that gym. He was trying to make that transition for as far as me working with somebody who knew what they was doing. And everybody looked at me. They just took a good look at me and was like, nah, we all right. This dude, he don't look like he gonna be boxing. We see people like him all the time. They come in here, they train, they work out, and they got a cap, they got a ceiling, they ain't gonna be anything. So they didn't want to take a chance or a risk on me. And so Big Al, he took initiative, man. He kept bringing me to the gym every morning. It started off the first week I worked out with him. I worked out only 2 times that week. I remember, man. But then he did that with me for about, like, I want to say 2 months. And I was like, look, man, can we start working out more? So that he added just an extra day. And this process went until I pretty much started training every day, Monday through Friday. And then eventually, man, we started working out 6 days a week. And he introduced me to it was a fighter, a trainer in there, but his name is Adolph Pruitt. He was like I don't know if he was a lightweight or a featherweight contender back in his day, and he was big time. Adolph Pruitt, Big Al, and one of the women who worked inside the gym convinced my trainer today, Dub Huntley, to working with me.
Your work ethic and those people around you convinced a Hall of Fame trainer, you know what I'm saying, to like take a chance on you, man.
Yeah, and he didn't want to take a chance on me. He used to always tell me I don't train amateurs, because at the time I wasn't even an amateur fighter, but he used to always say that I don't train amateurs. But he took a liking to the fact that I was willing to do whatever it took to learn, because I came to the gym every day. I came to the gym and I trained. I did whatever that was asked of me as far as gym work. And eventually he started holding mitts for me. He was like, look, man, I can't train you to be an amateur fighter. I can only train you to be a pro. That's all I teach. That's all I train. I only teach people to win and win decisively, to win by knockout. I don't teach you to throw a whole bunch of punches. And sure enough, man, he kept training and working with me. And Big Al, his part was his role. Basically, it transitioned to him being my conditioner. And then, the only real father figure that was in my life, but at the time I didn't recognize it. I was just like, man, this old man just trying to push the hell out of me. He's trying to work me to death. And that combination between Dub and Big Al, that kind of molded and shaped me into being, the fighter that I am today.
Yeah,
I take all the lessons. Big Al, he passed away 2 years ago, and that was extremely hard for me, because he was like the first person that wasn't family, that took a risk and put everything that he had into me. And me and him, we kind of shaded. We started working separately from each other. He stayed at the Broadway boxing gym, and I had moved away, so I was training at another gym. A manager that I had kind of pulled us away from each other, and I didn't want that to happen, but he thought the best thing to be, because he wanted what was best for me. He wanted me to just prosper and grow, and I didn't get that.
You don't think you grew with the tutelage of Big Al and
I did.
Also, in the second because you went on like an impressive undefeated route.
I did, and
the U.S. and Mexico. And
yeah,
then,
I did. I felt it, man. I felt that, that like it was things that started to occur within my camp that I was just oblivious to. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I was just a kid from, what I'm saying, like I said, South Central, who didn't know much about anything. He never dealt with business or any of that stuff. And unfortunately, I could honest to God say, that I was being took advantage of, man, and I didn't recognize it at the time, and that's what led me, ultimately, that's what led me into my fight when I fought, who is now one of my close friends, John Thompson.
Yeah.
Not to speed up within the story, but I wound up fighting John Thompson, but before I fought him, I was going through a lawsuit between the manager in which I fight that broke me and Big Al up apart because of this guy he felt he was entitled to way more money than what he was doing. The guy didn't get me any, he didn't put me in position. It was all based upon me. And the promotion that I was with, they did a job in, and what happened was I was told that I wasn't fighting anymore. I was pulled off the card. The last fight for me to prepare for John Thompson. I don't know if you knew or it was a story, but everybody saw what was taking place. I was outside running before the weigh-in. I was running with a sauna suit and all this stuff on, trying to make weight. I had to lose 14 pounds. I did lose it. I lost the 14 pounds. Actually, I was over, I think, 6 ounces or 4 ounces. I didn't make the weight. And that's why if I would have won, I wouldn't have won the title that was on the line.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so after that weigh-in, I never recovered. I felt too sick to even eat. I never really hydrated. I went to the fight. I fought John Thompson, and he beat me. The referee stopped the fight, told me I wasn't protecting myself, and I didn't argue with the ref. I felt my body was all crazy. I felt it, and I wouldn't argue it. I said, hey, man. But what that did do, because after that happened, that's why I was shelved. I was set down because I got into it with the promotion, and I fired that manager and everything. And me and Big Al got back together and started talking about working back together. I told him I let go that guy. I let go the manager. And we were both happy, and we were in extremely good place. And then the next time I talked to Big Al, literally, he was talking about meeting up. He told me he was going to give me a call to meet me in the gym. He gave me this time I got a call from Big Al, but it wasn't from him. It was from his wife. And she told me to come to the house because he just passed away.
Wow, man. Damn.
So, yeah, I went, I flew over there.
God bless him, man. God bless him. Sorry to hear that.
God bless Big Al, man. I drove over there as quick as I could. And literally, man, I came over there, and I think I beat the corner over there. Because when I came up over there, I got in the house, man, I looked, and there you go, man. Big Al was laid flat right in front of me. He was gone, just lifeless body. And that's when everything came full circle.
Let's back up for a second real quick. Now, before all this happened, you were in like the training camps of Shawn Porter, Triple G, and Antonio Margarito, all which are world champions. What kind of experience did you gain from being in those guys' camps?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Say that again? No, I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I said you were in the camps of Showtime, Shawn Porter, Triple G and Antonio Margarito. I was going to see what kind of experience you gained from being in those guys' camps and how it was.
All right. So let me start off with Antonio Margarito's camp. That was when I was still an amateur fighter. I only had one amateur fight at this time, man, and all I knew was they said he was a champion. And when I went there, he looked like a champion. He sparred me. He sparred two guys before me. And one of them was one of the guys who was teaching me. I looked up to, now you know Danny Babyface Ramon?
I don't know him personally, but
well, yeah,
I've heard his name.
I was asking if you knew of him. Well,
heard his name.
Me and him, we came up around the same time. Well, not the same time. He was boxing before me, but I learned boxing from him and his brother too. Like when my trainer wasn't around, I used to study them. I used to watch them. His big brother was both of our big brothers. His name was Manny Ramon, and Manny was sparring Margarito before me, and Margarito just, man, he tried to take Manny's head off. So he hit Manny in the throat, and Manny tried to say time, and Margarito just tried to dismantle him after he was saying weight and stuff. But I guess they had the mindset like, no, homie, this is sparring. This is what you're getting paid for. Come get this butt whooping. You know what I'm saying?
You better take a knee and do something.
Dude, listen. So and then next thing you know, they stopped the session. They stopped at 2 rounds. Then he was supposed to go 3 or 4. They pulled him out, and it was my turn.
Okay.
I'm right there. I'm like, oh my goodness, damn. Here we freaking go. I get in the ring, man, and after one, I hit him. He threw a lazy right hand at me, man, and I threw a left hook and a right hand. And I remember I hit him, and it sounded like when you hit a heavy bag that got sand inside of it, or like that got a ripple inside. It started sounding like sand was falling on the ground, but it was his head. I hit him real hard, and he never recovered. And I kept hitting him real hard, and they stopped the sparring. And after that round, they was like, oh yeah, that's enough. Thank you. We need somebody else to come in. They gave Margarito probably 3 or 4 rounds to recover, which he did, and then he got back in there and sparred somebody else. And I only went 1 round with him, but they told us if we go out there and spar, they was gonna pay us $300. And I just got into boxing. They didn't give me the $300. They gave me $50.
What?
So that experience wasn't a good experience for me. Big Al, he argued it, and the other trainer that we went out there with, they argued the hell out of it and was like, look, man, regardless of whatever was happening, y'all got to pay this kid $300, and we got $150 out of it. Where I didn't walk away with just $50, but that was when I sparred with Antonio Margarito.
Boxing shit, man. This boxing, man. It's man. I'm telling you, bro. Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then the next time I sparred with
Triple G.
Real big name I sparred with was Triple G. I sparred with Mauricio Herrera, and he was the first person that when me and him was sparring. He was like, now I was helping him, but I was a little bigger than he was. I fought at 54. He fought 140, or I think at 35. But when me and him used to spar, he used to always tell me, I didn't know what he was talking about, but he was like, yo, man, once you actually learn how to start boxing, you're going to start picking people apart because you don't know exactly what you're doing, but once it all clicks, you're going to be a sensation. Watch. So I just thanked him. I didn't get what he was talking about. The next person I sparred, I
was trying to say, boy, for people who ain't seen the last episode of the Contender, it's starting to click. I tell you that.
Yeah,
it's starting
right.
to click. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Triple G. We'll get to the Contender here in a second.
All right. Yeah. So Margarito was my second amateur fight. When I sparred with Triple G, it was my second professional fight. So while I'm sparring Triple G, I didn't know we were sparring for 4-minute rounds, and I was the only guy sparring him, and we went 5 rounds. And when we was going within them 5 rounds, I got a taste of who Triple G was. He didn't take it easy on me. He was
Now,
moving.
real quick. Were you sparring in Big Bear, or was this somewhere else?
Yeah, I sparred in the Big Bear. It's the first time in my life I've ever been in Big Bear.
So how was the elevation change? Like, could you tell like the difference in sparring?
Immediately.
Gotcha.
When I first went up there, I could barely breathe. I shadow boxed for, I want to say, probably a minute, and I was panting. I was wondering what was going on. And Abel Sanchez said, "Oh yeah, Brandon, that's from he was like, that's from the altitude. You'll get used to it, but don't worry about it." And I was like, man, damn. If I'm tired now, how am I gonna feel when I'm sparring? I guess it was Tuesday. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. It was on a Tuesday. So I was thinking, all right, they told me Monday, Wednesday, Fridays is when he sparred. Next thing you know, I meet Triple G. He comes down. He shakes my hand. Nicest guy in the world. Then I thought we was just meeting each other. He was going to show me around. Then he said, oh, yeah, he'll show you around after you guys sparred. So I was like, damn, we sparred on a Tuesday. But then I was thinking, damn, I was just tired. I was winded just shadow boxing. Man, we get in the ring and we spar 5 rounds. As we spar 5 rounds, the first round is when I figured out Triple G, if I just sit right there, he was going to try to take me apart. And was also, I could honestly God say, Triple G figured a little bit out about me too.
So you saying Triple G has enough power to like where you sit right in front of, it's not really a good idea?
Oh, no fighter, man. Honestly, dude, no fighter. Especially
so
at the time, he was a whole lot younger.
Let me ask you real quick. How impressed was you with Canelo's last performance?
Huh?
How impressed were you with Canelo's last
I was
performance?
extremely impressed with Canelo. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters right now. But one thing I would say is when that was many years back as well. When I was up there working with Triple G was younger. I think at the time he was probably, I think if I'm not mistaken, 28. He's like 28 years old at the time. That,
okay,
Triple G was still young. Yeah, he was still young.
You know how this boxing game is. They wait till you get old and then they try to pick you. You know how this boxing game is. So I can totally.
I'm telling you this.
I can totally understand. You probably fought a totally different guy than who was fighting Canelo in September.
Indeed. He was like I said, man, he had in my opinion, he had a faster step and he was a lot stronger and he kept coming. He come a whole lot more. He came a whole lot harder. Triple G did. So when I was up there, the introduction was definitely while we were in the ring sparring. The next day, which was Wednesday, we sparred again and they had other people come. I remember, man, it was a fighter. What was his brother's name, man? I can't think of his name, but
Was he a smaller weight?
No, he fought at 147. Then he started fighting at 54.
Okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about Ryan Margin's fight this weekend. He normally is like a person that like trains up there with Abel. Well, Abel is his trainer, I think.
Dang, I can't think of his brother's name, but his face is right in front of me. But he looked at me and he asked. He said,
"Let me ask you one question.
G?
Do you know the last person that the brother fought that you're thinking of?"
No, I know him and Tyrone Brunson fought, and he upset Tyrone Brunson.
Damn, man. Go ahead and talk, bro, and I'm a check boxer real quick.
Okay. He upset Tyrone Brunson, I think, in the second or third round. But this guy, he looked at me and he kind of chuckled and was like, "So you the guy who's sparring Triple G?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's nice to meet you." He said, "Oh yeah, that's what's up." We shook hands and everything. He started packing his stuff. He got in a cab. He got a cab and he drove back down to LA and he flew back to wherever the hell he's from. And Abel the next day was like, yo,
was it Carson Jones?
Yes, Carson Jones.
Oh my God.
Carson Jones left us high and dry, because then that meant we had to put in extra rounds now. Everybody putting on like umpire equipment. Everybody putting on, body shields and all this crazy stuff. I didn't have none of that stuff. And I was like, damn, I know you hit hard, but what the hell is that? That's going to make y'all slower. So I was the only guy up there.
I know he hit hard, but damn, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'm being honest. I was like, what the hell is they doing? So leading up to the sparring, I was the only guy with just a headgear and a nut cut. Everybody else, they had on umpire, equipment. And after we finished sparring and stuff, man, after I went home, they said that Abel told me my gloves, probably the string got cut Triple G a little bit under his eye. And I never argued it. I was like, all right, whatever. They paid me real good. They took care of me the whole time I was up there. But then, boxing, it kind of got a little easier after I came from Big Bear, because nobody else was ever hitting as hard as Triple G was. People were tough.
So real quick, can you compare the Margarito camp to the Triple G camp? Like, was it like a better overall experience for you? Does Triple G know how to run a proper training camp?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I was because Margarito is just he just asks you to drive over there and spar, and you go back home. Here at the summit, Abel, he'll try to encourage you to work out with the champ. And Triple G's very encouraging. He's like, come work out with me. Come work out in the mornings. Come do everything we do. He kind of like, he wants you to work out with him. He wants to push you so you could be a better you to help him. And that's appreciative. Plus, they paid all the way. They didn't just give me $150.
Oh, absolutely. So after the Triple G camp, the next notable name that I seen was Shawn Porter.
Yeah, so I went out there and I sparred with Shawn Porter, and it made it on Dante's boxing.
Yeah. Okay. Now.
Yeah.
That was you. Okay.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, man. That was hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I was just saying that was entertaining sparring session. That's all.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I didn't want to go hard because I was thinking, like, look, man, if I spar him too hard or if I hurt Shawn, then they're gonna send me home. They ain't gonna want to work for me.
Hold on. As a fighter, why you guys think that? Like I would think like iron sharpens iron. Like, why not go hard at each other?
Well, I'll explain thoroughly. So, usually I've been to camps where if you spar somebody hard, they like, all right, that's cool, thank you, but no thank you. We don't need that. We need for our fighter to be able to do and look good. So when that's what happened with the Margarito camp. That's why they never asked me to come back. And I was helping people, and sometimes I saw if I hurt the guys over time, if I'm, maybe not that sparring session, but eventually after 1, 2, or 3 sparring sessions, we keep working, and now the fighter's starting to look beat down and everything. They don't want that. So in my mind, now I didn't know how Kenny Porter nor Shawn Porter ran things. So when I was working with him, literally, man, I wasn't boxing. I was working. I was working my job. I had a job that took a lot of hours. I was sometimes training. So when I went up there, I was thinking condition wise, where would I be? And I knew Shawn Porter was no joke, but I also knew, what I was capable of doing. So when we got in there, we sparred and whatnot, and Shawn only knows to be one way. We know that.
I was gonna say, let's not forget, Shawn Porter does have a win over Alexander Usyk in the amateurs. So
yeah, so
he's no stranger to fighting bigger guys.
Yeah, but I knew all that because I looked up to Shawn Porter, because when I first started, remember I told you I was 5'4" and I was close to 200 pounds, if not. Remember, so I studied Shawn Porter And I liked the heck out of him because he was a smarter guy, putting in Lil Mac's work from Mike Tyson Punch Out. So I looked up to him. So when I was up there, when me and him was sparring and stuff, I always thought to myself, all right, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Keep it, right there. If he push real hard, work with him just enough to work, like to let him know, you know what I'm saying? You right here, you exist, but don't overdo it. So that was my temperament. That was my mindset was. And they were at that session. Well, they were going to pay me a whole lot more than what I was making at my job, for one. And my job was completely cool with me going out there to work because I was extremely close with my boss. Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man.
Okay.
I mean, that's good. I mean, you're like close with your boss, and he let you, kind of get double paid. So that's always good.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the after Big Al died. Do you think that was a big part of the 2-year layoff, or was it 3 years?
No, man. Big Al passing away had nothing to do with the layoff. That was all based on the promotion. I didn't want to have a layoff. I was looking to fight. I wanted to fight. I wanted to stay active. I wanted to stay busy. That was the way I paid. I took care of my livelihood. That's the way that I was taking care of the family, and which I've made for myself. You know what I'm saying? My wife, my kid, and then my 2 kids. That's how I was running things. That's how I was taking care of everything, man. And it just ceased. It stopped. And I was calling the promoters, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. And they in the beginning it was like, hey, I'll get back with you, and when we get a fight, we'll call you. And then sometimes I get a random call and ask if I'd be interested in a fight at 68 and stuff like that. I was like, what the hell is going on? That happened for almost, it was almost, that happening for almost like a year and a half before then I started to try to take action. Because legally, like I said, man, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know, where I stood in anything, man, but I just felt it wasn't right. I knew something wasn't right. And I tried to lawyer up and everything, man. And then, they just started to avoid me. And in the midst of them avoiding me, eventually, man, doors opened up. And I kept getting a call to become a part of this TV show, The Contender. And I didn't want to do it. I kept telling the people, no, thank you. They was like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
You say you didn't want to do it?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. I lied.
Why not?
Because, man, I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I was real bitter at the moment. I was real bitter, and I figured, and I knew if I do real good on this show, then, the people in which that have been holding me back, they were going to try to seize, capitalize on, we've always been there. We've done this. We've done that for you. And, so
did you not have like a buyout clause in your contract?
No.
Damn. How many fights were left on it?
Actually, it was fights per year, and I didn't fight for 3 years. It was 4 fights per year. So that's what, I was trying to get taken care of.
So how did they release you to do the Contender?
The Contender, the way that they got like their contracts are set up, it's more so of like co-promote.
Got you.
Yeah.
So do these fights count towards the contract?
Nuh-uh.
They don't?
Nuh-uh. Nah, man. Well, as far as to my knowledge, as far as I will say on the interview, they're taking care of everything. So I'm going to let them take care of everything until everything's actually taken complete care of.
So you are currently still in the contract?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's move on to the Contender. So at first you didn't want to do it. So what changed your mindset? Did
Man,
you start making decisions with your emotion?
No, like my wife, I talked to her about a lot of stuff, and she was 100% down for me not to do it. But it's funny because I don't want to say 100% no more because it turned from 100 to 70 to 50. She was like,
sometimes you gotta recognize the opportunities, man.
Yeah, well, that's where she was coming from, man. That's where she was coming from. She said, "Look, man,
this show right here has like made me interested in like all you guys' like background, like not only you, but like all you guys like backstory. So not only you, like after the show's over, I go and box rec you guys. I go and I see what kind of articles are on you guys. So the show is like good for self promotion.
Yeah, it is, man. And like, so for me, like in the midst of all of this, as I kept saying no, she started being like, "Hey, babe, you sure?" And what I love about my wife, man, is like she believes in me. She sees like how hard I worked and trained, and she said, "Look, the only thing I don't like is that it's at 160, but 160 is real close to 154. So you won't be killing yourself to be trying to hold on to weight or." Because she knew that, we'd make weight in the morning and fight at night. Like, she was looking at everything that they were sending me.
So, like,
how
long of a notice did you guys get before you fought?
Well, look, because I was probably the absolute last person to actually agree to be a part of the Contender.
Okay.
I told them, I told them, in April, like around probably April, if I'm not mistaken, it was like April 9th. And this is before they was getting everything set up. They had to have everybody, and the fight was supposed to take place like around, they said the first fight is going to be April 23rd or April 24th or something like that. This is when, before it aired and everything, they was getting everything together. They had to have us, pretty much fill everything out and to make, to be able to see if we, background checks, making sure we can make the show. So when they told me how long I had, and I knew I wasn't really training. I knew I wasn't training like I had a fight coming up. I really wasn't training that much at all. I was working a whole lot. And my wife's a teacher. So she works from 6 in the morning, so she don't get off work till 6 at night. And then at nighttime is when I'll go to the gym and train because I was taking care of the kids, take my son to school and watch my daughter. So so while this is taking place, I'm like, all right, so how long do I have before I fight? They were like, oh, well, the first fight is going to be on the 23rd, but that doesn't mean that you'll be fighting, but it will be a first fight. So then, people were telling me, like, yeah, people get called out on the show. And immediately I was like, all right, well, damn, if people are getting called out on the show, there's a possibility that somebody's going to want to call me out. So I was like, damn, all right, cool. I didn't let myself go completely. I started working out. I worked out, and literally April 13th, they called me a Uber to come pick me up from my house to take me to the place, to the hotel and stuff, so we can fill out everything and meet everybody and see if people was passing the background checks. It was a lot of fighters in there. It was probably, at the time, it was probably like 30-something, probably 40 fighters inside of this little room. And there was a lot of good fighters, a whole lot of good fighters all beside this room filling out the waivers and whatever they were supposed to be filling out. And I was thinking to myself, like, all right, so once we finish doing this, what we do, they were like, all right, you guys can't leave the hotel. You guys can't leave the premises. And I was thinking to myself, well, goddamn, how am I supposed to get prepared for a fight if we're not in the boxing gym, if we're not actually in the gym training? And we was inside of a hotel pretty much preparing for everything like a week ahead, like a week or almost like a week and a half. And then we got into the house. As soon as we got into the house, within that first, or I want to say the second day, that's when everything started happening. That's when John Thompson meets Lamar Russ, and everything else, was Contender history.
So the ball just started rolling.
Yep.
So like describe the house, like how is it being in there with fighters that you know possibly that you might have to face down the road.
You know what? It was real cool, man, because of my personality, dude. When I first came in there, it's funny, man, because one of the first people I seen in the house was John Thompson. And when I seen him, I was like, John Thompson. And I came in, I started messing with him. I said, oh, you know they want a round two. If they got you in here, they got me in here. You know we got to run it back. And he was laughing. He was like, man, this dude, this guy. So, like, I was poking at him. I was messing with him. But then I looked around. I started seeing other, like, more familiar faces, especially from the show. I seen Shane. I was like, yo, Shane, I thought you wasn't even going to try to join. He was like, well, I got to see. I got to see if I'm if I'm going to be in. I was like, man, shit. So I know you're going to keep that in there. But,
everything's staying in my God.
That's right.
At the boxing, we keep it 100% real.
Oh, yeah, that's real. So then, everybody was like, well, we don't know if we're going to make it to actually be a part of the show because they got to eliminate. They got to see exactly who they want for the show. And as I was looking in there, it's a lot of tough little fighters. Just a lot of, contenders. So, we figure.
What was the most, surprising thing about being on the show?
All right. Look, I'll start by telling you, right off the bat, one of the worst things ever being in that house is not having no phones, no books, no TVs, no
Wi-Fi. So you guys were cut off from
we were
Wi-Fi.
cut off from society. Yeah,
Ooh.
they had windows and everything, man, but we weren't half-assed supposed to know what time was it really, man. Dude, I'm just keeping it 100, man. One thing that tripped them out, man, after the second week, I told them, I was like, look, man, I'm about to AWOL. And I walked away from all the cast, and I went outside to go get some sunlight. And they were all half-ass chasing, Brendan, no, don't do that, don't. Then I was like, all right, Adam's and they was all on the walkie-talkies, like, Adam's is outside. And they was like, oh, well, get him back in the house. And I was like, he just wants to get some sun. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. But all the other fighters in the house, they was like, man, Brandon, crazy, man. You trying to get kicked off, man. Why you up in there acting like that? I said, dude, man, I need to get some sun. I'm up in here losing my mind. Absolutely. But as far as the fighters go, look, man, we were all cool. I remember Eric was like, look, man, don't be up in here playing them games. I don't want nobody trying to put nothing in my food. I'm not going to be putting nothing in nobody else's food. And then somebody was like, yeah, let's not make this shit like the Bad Girls Club, man. This is a boxing gym. I mean, we're boxers, and we're going to hold it up like gentlemen. Everybody, it was a gentleman's shake on it. And everybody, after that, we pretty much had each other's back. Even though we were part of, what they didn't show on Skit, man, is even though it was blue and yellow, we had each other's back regardless of any and everything, man. When cameras came, we cracked jokes a lot, and that's what sold on the show.
That's cool. So how was it interacting with Andre Ward?
It was cool. Inside the house, I didn't get much time with Andre Ward because I was kind of always I was the guy who in their opinion, because I was always up in there laughing and smiling and cracking jokes, so I didn't take anything serious. And so, I don't want to say that they kind of stood away from me. They stayed away from me, but at the same time, it's like they was trying to figure me out. And Andre was trying to figure me out, and he didn't know, he didn't understand me. So, he kind of kept his distance. He didn't really talk to me as much there.
Gotcha. Well, I do have to say that the most impressive performance. Well, I got to give Shane some credit because Shane had a good performance his first fight. But you against Kickoff? I mean, that guy. I thought he was gonna probably make some noise, but the way you stepped in the ring against him, 2-year layoff, bro, that fight right there let me know that you on that performance, man? Like how does it feel to like put on like I mean, it was pretty much masterful, but I'm not even trying to gas you up and like that. But
I understand. I'm grateful, man. Thank you. For me, fighting Keetroff was a fight that I wanted to fight, man, because Keetroff was Keetroff. I understood what he meant and stood for towards this show, and I'm being honest, man. I knew he was the favorite. Now, I wound up fighting Tyrone Brunson, but that wasn't the guy I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight Tyrone Brunson because I didn't want nobody else to fight him because I believed in Tyrone Brunson. I thought of him as being who he was. And I thought the only person who would be able to do anything towards him was me. So I took that fight with Tyrone Brunson. I wanted that fight, and I'm grateful, man. Everything came out the way it did. Me and Tyrone, I got a lot of respect for that guy, man. Everything that he did, how humble and cool he is. He cracked jokes. He's real cool. And he told me he knew that me and him was going to fight because he said everybody was scared of calling me out. And I was like, nah, man. For me, it wasn't that I was afraid of calling you out. I was just looking at Keetroff as the guy like, yo, man, I know Tyrone ain't no joke, but I also knew Keetroff is a guy who's poised, who got over 500 some amateur fights. He's got this, he's got that, He's Keetroff. Keetroff fought one of my cousins, man, Lewis Rose.
Oh,
He
okay.
beat Lewis. He beat Lewis, man, and I ain't gonna say I held on a grudge to that, but I definitely felt like Rocky Apollo. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get him.
Absolutely.
So we fought, man, and going into that fight, like I said, man, I wanted to fight Keetroff. I got the opportunity to fight him. So now I said to myself, all right, so look, the Tyrone fight, I heard the coach over there, the coach kept, he didn't understand me. He didn't get me. So all he did was badmouth me, especially from, as you can see, the first episode. Things went way crazier than what it showed on the show. And I'm glad they didn't show all that craziness. I appreciate it, man. But Naazim didn't like me. I don't know how he feel about me up to this day, but I know in the house, man, he couldn't stand me. So when I beat Tyrone, because the brother, man, he just always, he always downed me. Every time he had an opportunity, he was like, look at him, he always smiling. He always over there cracking jokes. He ain't taking shit serious. This is $250 million, 250,000 on the line. This motherfucker over here, little stuff like that. And I would never give him really no attention. I would never focus on him. I didn't care. Because I knew, like, literally, man, in my mind, in my heart, in my body and soul, man, I just knew once I start to fight, I'm going to let all of my fighting do the talking. I'm not about to sit up here and go back and forth with an elder man. Like, I respect him because, for one, he's a human being. Two, he's an older man. Three, he's an older black man who could actually school me, give me some knowledge upon being a young black man in America. That's how I was looking at him. And he kind of like, he threw all them chips away when he was just right there bashing me damn near every day that he saw me. Every day, man, I'm telling you. It made no sense how bad this dude was trying to talk about me. And it got to the point to where, like, literally everybody on my team, everybody was just like, yeah, man, wait till when Brandon start fighting. I fought Tyrone. That's why when you see me acting a fool and I did all that stumping, I didn't do that towards Tyrone. I did that towards Naazim. Yeah. So just a little, you know what I'm saying? Just a little like, yo, hey, check this out, bro. I'm existing. I'm over here smiling because I'm having fun. Don't ever get this twisted. I'm up in here just like every other contender. And I got everything that I feel that I can believe to win. So let's not get that twisted. So then, leading up to Keetroff fight, he kept saying, now Keetroff is a master boxer. He's this, he's that. He got a chin. He's this, he's that. Just because he got by, one dude got by on making him, it was a good shot. And you know what it's like to get hit with a good shot. I seen it happen to you. So I laughed, and I was like, man, I lost because I lost weight. I beat myself that fight. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was able to get over that loss with Mr. John Thompson. I knew I beat myself. I knew what I was feeling like going into the fight. But this time around, this is all me. So I went in the ring. We fought, and I knew from the jump I wanted to see how he wanted to fight me. and I heard them yelling, telling him to do stuff, man, but it was tunnel vision. I already knew what I was going to do to him, man. I would set up some feints, let him come in, and then let him see, you know what I'm saying, how mythical of a beast that I am, my damn self. And he couldn't hold it. He couldn't take, like, he didn't expect for me to be as good as I was that night. I know that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Nobody did. Everybody there. I had people come walk up to me. I had a whole bunch of people come walk up to me. Some of the casting members and everything was like, yo, I just want a shitload of money on you, bruh. Everybody thought that you was about to get your ass whooped. Everybody thought the Federation was not going to win tonight, but I won, bruh. Good, congratulations, bruh. You whooped his ass, and you beat both of the top fighters in the house.
Absolutely.
Everybody know exactly what you are now in here, and you keep smiling. You keep smiling. You keep whooping butt. And I just was grateful, man. I mean, like, I was listening to what they were saying, but, you know, I've been on the same high that I've been, but once I actually accepted being on a show and up to this point, that's why I say, man, I feel good. I'm able to be more of myself now because I don't have those people behind me or holding me back or having me, you know what I'm saying, in a dark space. I'm able to just a whole 100% be Brandon Adams, and you know and I'm showing proof of it when I fight. There ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing going wrong with me, except me being focused on my fights. So,
absolutely, man. Well, man, I'm definitely excited to see the next episode this Friday, and I do want to thank you for your time, and the Boxing Voice really does appreciate you giving us your time and being like so honest and like so transparent with the fans and just letting them know what's going on with you and stuff like that. Do you have any social media that you want to give out to the fans? I know you have a website that is pretty cool. If I have to say, it is www.brandonthecannon.com, and it's just tells you guys about his life and how he grew up and just what boxing has done for him. And one thing that I like to ask people before we end this interview, like, how has boxing changed your life?
So boxing changed me personally, man. It helped grow me up because before I was boxing, I was a young man, but I didn't understand. Like I said, I didn't get the grasp of everything, man. And boxing, it grows me up. I mean, like parenting, it grows you up. Of course, like, you know, all of a sudden instincts start to take toll. You start to figure things out, things that you never thought of thinking about or never thought that you'd understand. Well, you know, boxing, it actually does the same things for you once you start to be around, you know, certain things within boxing. I want to say, for instance, like if you are around a whole bunch of people who just keeps their mouth closed and they stay silent about a whole bunch of things, then you won't learn anything. But if you're around people, you know what I'm saying, who's being active on both sides of the field, in and outside the ring, you got people who's looking to better themselves with their careers and who's looking at the bigger picture, you know, life out of boxing, outside of boxing and everything, man. It can grow you up tremendously, and that's what it actually did for me. So I'm extremely grateful for that. You know, that's why I'm able to be completely open. Like my whole reason when I actually joined the Contender, my main goal was actually to get my story out, to be able to help people, not just as far as boxing, but I mean, like in life. It's like things will happen. You will have battles. You will be battle tested. But it's just how you go about your battles. You know what I'm saying? When you lick your wounds, get up, try again. People may not be pulling the same exact way that you're pulling, you know, but that doesn't mean that you're pulling the whole wrong way. That just means you got to get stronger and pull even harder. And that's kind of pretty much what I did. That's why I speak so freely. That's why I'm very open with what happened with my career and how I plan on changing it, how I am changing it right now, because I want to help people. It wasn't like growing up, didn't nobody really help me until I met these gentlemen, and then they helped change and mold my life, man. So If I'm that beacon of light for anybody out there that's listening, that will be listening, that's tuning into the show, that's watching the fights, man, that's the message that I wanted to present to the people. That's a part of the Contender family now.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Do you have any social media that you'd like to give out?
Yeah, man. Check out Brandon. Well, check me out on Brandon the Cannon Adams, Cannon Nation on Instagram, Facebook, Brandon the Cannon Adams. You can hit me up. I always get back with you. Probably not at that moment, but I will eventually. I talk to everybody, man, because I'm human just like you. That's it, and that's all, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for your time, brother. Have a good one.
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.